paying attention to me. But today, I'm very happy to report that Molly of the Mall by Heidi Jacobs has just won the Leacock Award for humor. So this is a award for Canadian humor writing that comes out once a year, and we previously won it in 2013 for Cassie Stocks's Dance Gladys Dance. And also of note, by my counting, there's only been 9 women who've won this award in the past 73 years. So that split is not ideal. And not many people of color have won this award ever, which is even worse. But I'm still very happy to see that Heidi won the award, because I think that this is a delightful novel. And it's just a lot of fun right now, and kind of makes me nostalgic for going to the mall, which is crazy to be nostalgic for something I did in February, but it feels like a different world. So I believe I talked about this maybe 20-some episodes ago, and that would be before I was broadcasting on Facebook and YouTube, so now new viewers can see this if you weren't on Twitter. But yeah, Molly of the Mall, delightful debut novel from Heidi Jacobs. It's about a young woman growing up in Edmonton, Alberta in the 90s. She's going to university, but she has a part-time job at a mall that is very similar to, but legally distinct from the West Edmonton Mall. So it splits between sort of literary satire of being academia, but also what it's like to be a young person in the working world doing retail in the 90s. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. And I believe last time I read right from the beginning, talking about why her name is Molly. She's named after Moll Flanders. So I think I'll find some of the M-A-L-L Mall talk and give you a bit of that. But here's the back cover copy. Aspiring novelist Molly McGregor's life is strikingly different from her literary heroines. Named for one of literature's least romantic protagonists, Moll Flanders, Molly lives in Edmonton, a city she finds irredeemably unromantic, where she writes university term papers instead of novels, and sells shoes in the largest mall on earth. There she seeks the other half of her young life's own matched pair. Delightfully whimsical, Heidi L.M. Jacobs, Molly of the Mall, literary lass and purveyor of fine footwear, explores its namesake's love for the written word, love for the wrong men and the right one, and her complicated love for her city. Kit Dobson, author of Mauled, Deciphering Shopping in Canada, says, Heidi L.M. Jacobs nails it. Molly of the Mall relentlessly, hilariously conveys the ennui felt by anyone who has ever read a book and then gone to the mall, just as it captures the malaise and pretension of every undergraduate English course ever. A rollicking literary romance set in the icy moonscape of 1990s Edmonton, Molly is wicked good fun. And Dina Del Bucchia, author of It's a Big Deal, said, Heidi L.M. Jacobs has created a delightfully whimsical protagonist in Molly. Always informed by the characters from literature she loves, she approaches life in her own unique and fanciful way. Such fun to follow in the retail nightmares and romantic comedy mishaps of this Austenian heroine of mid-90s Edmonton. So, yeah, this is kind of a trip back in time for a lot of people who grew up with West Edmonton Mall in the background of our lives. I remember it very often being part of my childhood, going there, going to the movies, going to Galaxyland, going to the water park. I often think of it in regards to after I left university. I worked in retail for 4 years, and I did retail while I was in high school too. So the eccentricities of dealing with people in the retail setting, I think this novel also nails. So I'm going to find some mall talk for you, because that is fun stuff, I thought. Well, here's the kind of inciting focus of the novel, where Molly, who is a scholar of Austin in her undergraduate, talks about how Austin said all you need for a novel is 4 or 5 families in a small English town, and Molly kind of transfers this into the modern day, aka the 90s, saying all you need is a certain amount of stores in a mall and the people who work at them, and you can wring out a fun story that way. So here we go. Miss Austen's suggestion that 3 or 4 shoe stores in a prairie city might indeed be the very thing for me to write about. For context, he talks to Miss Austen as if she's a character, like a person that she knows. So she got this idea from her own interpretation of Jane Austen as a person that she knows. Indeed, it could become my oeuvre. Maybe my Mall novels could become Edmonton's equivalent of Sir Walter Scott's Waverly novels. Granted, I do not have stunning Highland and Lowland landscapes to draw on, nor do I have the lingering tension surrounding the Jacobite uprisings, but here's what I do have. At the center of my narrative is Le Petit Shoe, a pink shoe store making a nod to Parisian chic in name only. It is not a mere retail outlet, but a purveyor of fine footwear. If I stand outside my shop doors and look left, I could see a replica of Christopher Columbus's ship, the Santa Maria, which sits under a massive set of skylights. Beside the ship is a lagoon featuring submarines, a dolphin tank, and the sea life caverns. Although I cannot directly see it, I can hear the screams of joyous children flying down slides at the water park and the whoosh of water from the wave pool. If I go around a corner, I could see the accompanying indoor beach where Edmontonians, desperate for a more hospitable clime, lounge on the fake sand. Should I turn my head to the right, I could see the skylights that cover the NHL-sized skating rink where a few times a year the Oilers practice. If I choose to stroll from my shop, I'm not far from Europa Boulevard, where I might leisurely perambulate, imagining myself in a quaint, climate-controlled, non-winding European street. Nor am I far from Bourbon Street, where a lone female such as I can stroll safely around the nightclubs after picking up a cute new skirt at Le Chateau and having a cup of daiquiri ice cream at Baskin-Robbins. I might also choose to take a log or stroll over to Fantasyland, where there is a roller coaster, carousel, giant swing set, flying galleon, and a passel of shifty suburban carnies. Above me are lengths of skylights, and below me are aviaries containing some small tropical songbirds and 3 or 4 peacocks. Evidently, whoever had the idea to put peacocks in an aviary in the world's largest shopping mall never spent much time around peacocks. Beautiful, yes. There are also emus in a pen near entrance 50. They appear agitated and bewildered at all times, though that might just be their demeanor. And the dolphins, I worry about them. I also worry a little about my fellow mall employees. Many of them have the same look of agitated bewilderment as the emus, and I'm hoping it's just a coincidence, not a result of spending much of one's waking life in this mall. My Waverly Mall novel will need dramatis personae. Maybe I'll create dramatic tension by pitting the managers and employees against each other. Hardly the makings of the Battle of Culloden, but perhaps it'll do. In terms of romance, intra-store fraternizing is discouraged, but there seems to be a bit of intra-store something going on between Maureen and Rick, the manager of Prima Donna. I'm reluctant to imagine much more on that front, but I could certainly summon up something much more suitable. The noble and virtuous heroine could be modeled after Eugenie, who is nice, gentle, and kind in spite of Maureen's tyranny. There is also a seemingly endless supply of part-time employees and trainees who could supply the rich sociological details vital for engaging historical fiction. Lively subplots could be supplied by my fellow mall citizens. Beside Le Petit Shoe is a Perky's clothing store with extensive staff of really friendly girls who, like their store's name, seem to end all their sentences with an exclamation point. Most are part-time. On the other side is another shoe store, and we never talk to them. There has been a long-standing feud between the stores since Phase 3 opened. None of the original staff still works there, and no one knows what the feud was about, yet we still talk about them in whispered tones and never make eye contact. Directly across from us is an upscale fur and leather store with a small staff and a fair bit of attitude. The manager, in particular, seems to have issues with our subpar leather goods. Down the way is a men's clothing store that appears to cater to men with upscale mullets and a penchant for shiny metal-hued suits. Nearby is a brand new store called the Ottoman Empire that only Ottomans. On its chairs, it has big signs that say, "No chairs." It has big signs, chairs, and only Ottomans. I talked with Kevin, a new employee there, looking for a new job. 3 or 4 Scott's Waverly give me hope. Do one more. Here's one. I have 1 more hour until closing. It's been a 9 shift. I'm exhausted, killing me. Style and comfort, no matter what I tell you, it's never meat. My opinion on this matter, I always say, you always recover from sore feet, but you can never recover from bad style. I should admit that today, notes on style versus comfort, but in case someone ever does. That I have prepared as the answer. Standing here in an empty store all night has given me time to think about how I might make the world a better place through my purveyance of middling quality footwear. Knowing how much misery the wrong shoe can bring, perhaps I can bring joy to the populace by matching each Le Petit shoe patron with the perfect shoe. Maybe I could also launch global projects to work towards the greater common good. I have been thinking about my encounter with the mean taupe lady yesterday. Maybe I could do something to improve the lot of shoe salespeople across the country. I cannot do anything about the minimum wage or the hours, but maybe I could make a small difference in their quality of life. To this end, I envisioned an International Shoe Purveyors Summit commissioning a task force on the tonal parameters of taupe. I could spearhead the writing of the international shoe color standards, so disputes regarding the exact specifications of taupe could be easily resolved. Had I such a volume in my possession yesterday, I could have opened it to the entry on taupe and been asked to say, "I'm sorry, madam. As you can see, that is not a taupe shoe. It is an eggshell. It is an eggshell shoe. Kindly cast your eyes thither toward that shelf yonder. However, if it is indeed an eggshell shoe you desire, what size and heel height dost thou seeketh?" Once the task force has completed our work on taupe, we can move on to the other pernicious variations, collectively known as that sort of beigey color. We would scientifically analyze tones and hues so as to make precise gradations regarding the colors commonly, yet imprecisely known as sand, ecru, off-white, eggshell, bone, biscuit, buff, cream, cafe au lait, caramel, camel, oatmeal, fawn, tan, and khaki. After a stellar success with colors in the beige family, we will then proceed to colors like mauve and teal until we've reached the subtlest regions of blue-black. We would also have a small appendix section for the men's shoes where we unpack the distinctions among brown, brownish, brown-black, and black. Men's shoes might just require a leaflet. This venture could be huge. Once we can all say the word taupe and know with certainty that others will know what we mean, peace and love should spread across the world like a sunrise. So, yeah, that's kind of the vibe of the book. She's one of those kids at university who's an overachiever and very pleased with the sound of her own voice. And it's fun to see her kind of have to realize what it's like to be in the real world, I'll say. So, yeah, this is a great book. I liked it quite a bit, and it won the Leacock Award, so did the jurors and many people who enjoy humor literature across the country. So if you're looking to pick up your own copy of this book, it's still available at alllitup.ca. We are still not in at the office yet, still at home, as you can see. But if you're looking for an ebook version, just type it into your ebook reader. You should be able to find it easily. And we are working on a audiobook version soon, too. So you'll be able to listen to it while you're on your commute to the other part of your house. So, yeah, keep it in mind. I really like this book, and I'm very happy to see the award win. So thanks again for watching. And, yeah, we'll see you on Monday.